So just to give you a sense of scale on the size of these blocks, you see that one with Deborah. This one is really big, more than 2 meters tall, probably several tons. Find this strange, huge block all carved out. This is definitely a big piece of stone, and there's many more there. So for those who love knobs, here we have one. The walls inside are built in the shape of a cross. So we are here today on the extreme west coast of Crete, and here we visit today the city, the ancient city of Falasarna, which is a city founded around the 7th century BC. It was later destroyed apparently by some Roman invasion and an earthquake and a tsunami, which finally destroyed everything. And here you can see this is a nice area with interesting blocks, some small polygonal corners over there, just square blocks, but these are definitely decent blocks. You see the blocks there are strange because they have some kind of a cornice of a frame, even though they are there as part of the walls of this place, but they're quite big. We're going to take a look around. This is the area of the archaeological site. So here you see among this strange construction, there's this part of the wall, the one I just showed you, with Deborah on top, which seems to be actually a surrounding wall, because you see there's 2 lines of stones with some space or rubble in between. So I almost get the feeling that this was part of an earlier wall, then reused also, because you see the type of stone is slightly different from this to this, as well as from this to this. So the interesting story of this place is that apparently there was a strong earthquake in 365 AD, and as a consequence of the earthquake, the whole land raised 6.5 meters, and this determined that there was kind of an inner port here, harbor, protected harbor, which actually was raised out of the water. And so that was the strong point of the city. And with that taken out, there was no reason anymore to live here. So this is definitely an interesting wall. Maybe it was part of the harbor, not really sure. But you see, big stones. Those on top are really eroded, but those on the bottom are still in a very good shape. And there is actually a graveyard of blocks here, some of which are really big. So here again, you can see they made some excavations here, and there's a wall completely under the ground. Actually, it's probably going even deeper, because down there I can see another row of stones starting, so it would be interesting to know how deep these walls go. And again, in this case, we're talking about less than 2,000 years since the earthquake finally destroyed the city. So here again you can see that actually everything big was underground, had to be excavated. There's big blocks a little bit everywhere. Deborah is noticing another frame on these blocks here, but only on 2 of them. The erosion here has been really heavy. You see these blocks, how eroded they are. So here you see these blocks on top, which are nicely decorated. And the strange thing, it's a very small passage, maybe 60-70 centimeters wide. The strange thing is that blocks down here, they all have a sort of a cornice or a sort of a frame, but then just in front, 80 centimeters away, there's this other wall here with much rougher blocks, not so nicely decorated. Big, but anyway, with no frame, so it's really strange. Why would you make some decoration on a wall facing another wall at such small distance? So this allegedly was a tower, and you can see there's again the nicely decorated part on the bottom. and the same on this side. And we just saw a third side with the same decoration, but then there they dug deeper and you could see more. So there's more down here too. You can barely see it, but there's some kind of a frame on those blocks as well. So for those who love nubs, here we have one. So here again we have another wall. This is definitely a big piece of stone, and there's many more there. You can see Deborah, she's actually quite small compared to them. Not really huge, but definitely serious stones. Yeah, this may have been the harbor. You see there's even a hole in that stone, maybe meant to attach ships or something. And everything, you see that the ground level is about 1 to 1.5 meters higher than what the actual construction is, but justly so. Deborah noticed that if there has been a tsunami after the earthquake, that would make sense, and everything was at least partly covered in dirt and earth and whatever. Here we're getting to another area packed with huge blocks, unfortunately behind the fence, and there should be a tower here as well. We're getting huge blocks here. Look at that one where Deborah's standing. Everything collapsed, everything broken down. There's the sea in the background. Quite rough today. There's a north wind, the weather seems to be getting worse. There's a huge block here again. And there's the round tower here. I mean, even if this was really built by some Hellenistic era people in Falasarna, they did a great job with stone. They knew how to handle big blocks of stone, as there's many here, many. You see even outside the fence. They didn't even bother to include them in the fence, which, by the way, since the site is free entrance, I don't get the idea. And why should they make a fence around it? Maybe for the goats. There's goats everywhere on this island. This is the tower. It's got a strange cross inside, like the walls inside are built in the shape of a cross. So just to give you a sense of scale, on the size of these blocks, you see that one with Deborah close by, and there's many more here like that. And I guess this area here in the center was supposed to be the area where the harbor was. Really windy today. Here you can see a reconstruction of how they think the harbor was, and besides a few blocks of stones like this and this flat area here, there's not much left. So here another part where they dug, and you can see it's almost 2 meters deep, and there were really walls there. But look at this block here near Deborah. This one is really big, more than 2 meters tall, probably several tons in weight, and it's not even dug until its bottom. It's hard to say, but it doesn't look to end there, so it might be even going deeper. So here you can see the one I just showed you, and just over there there's another one, probably its twin. I mean, they didn't dig anything. If you look at here, when this one was dug out, it was just coming out of the ground maybe a meter or so, but then they dug deeper and they got down another 1 meter plus. So here's some more walls that had been dug out by archaeologists. It looks like, I don't know, a street or something, maybe a building. Here is still another overview of the site. The strange thing is that usually in most Hellenistic sites we visited, you could find at least some columns or a theater or something, and there seems to be nothing like that here. But with all they still have to dig to bring to surface, they might still find something like that, of course, if this was a Hellenistic site. Unfortunately, we cannot go any further than here, but Deborah noticed that there seem to be some small parts of huge walls. You see that one there in about the center, then there's another just underneath. There are rocks over there, and there's other smaller parts over there. I cannot zoom more than this, but I believe they should be visible. And here an interesting feature in this wall here, as Deborah noticed, the corner is rounded, which is not something you see very often. They seem to enjoy right angles quite a bit. So to wrap it up, we have this site here in Falasarna, west coast of Crete. It's supposed to have been a Hellenistic fortified harbor town. It's been once destroyed by the Romans because apparently they started to do some piracy in the sea. But then it was still inhabited until 365 AD, when a big earthquake destroyed most of it, raised the ground by 6.5 meters, thus emptying the harbor, and a subsequent tsunami destroyed what was left. My name is Mirko, thanks for watching, and if you like this video and the other videos I'm doing of little known sites, please share, like and subscribe to my channel. This helps me keep on traveling and finding new sites. So on the road that takes you to the ruins of Falasarna, we find this strange, huge block all carved out, which is just called the throne, presumably for some deities or for some goddess or god. You can see that's a huge piece of stone, and it seems to be dug out from the bedrock. It's been repaired in some part, but it's really big.